If you're going to Vegas and you're hoping for a room upgrade, then you may have heard of the 20 trick. I've been going to Vegas for over 20 years, multiple times a year, lost track of how many times I've gone, and have always been using the 20 tricks. So today I'm going to be answering all of your 20 trick questions and telling you tips on success on the 20 trick. Number one, what is the 20 trick? Well, the 20 trick really isn't a trick. It really is a $20 tip when you check in and you ask if there are any complimentary upgrades and you give a $20 bill as a tip. So it really is a tip, not a trick, but I'll be going a lot more into detail on how to be successful. Number two, why is it called the 20 trick? So if it's not a trick, why do we call it the 20 trick? So about 20 years ago, when message boards were popular, there was a really popular website called Fat Wallet where you could go and find good deals on everything, electronics and everything. But there was message boards on there, and message boards, and there was a Vegas thread where we would all talk about good deals and share good deals. And that's where the 20 trick, as far as I know it, got named. If you know a different place, comment down below. But I know it from 20 years ago from a very popular Fat Wallet thread that was pages and pages long, where we would go and try it out, come back, report back on the message board, all the details if it worked, and then we got so much information. Some people would do data at Caesar's Palace, it worked this % of the time, things like that. And why we called it the 20 trick is because when you're typing or when you're talking to someone who already knows what it is, saying the $20 tip when you check in and ask for a complimentary upgrade is really just too many words. So we needed a name. Somebody picked 20 trick, it stuck. It's amazing that this many years later, that's what it's called. So that's why it's called the 20 trick. What are your tips on getting upgraded? So this I actually have a lot of tips on. The first thing you should do is do your research. Look into that hotel and see what kind of room upgrades they have available. What do they have suites? What kind of suites? Because an upgrade to you might not be the same as an upgrade to someone else. Someone might want a jacuzzi tub where you might want a living room. Somebody might care about a strip view and somebody might want a golf course view. It really is different on the person. And so when you just say, are there any upgrades without any details, you're really not giving the person you're talking to a lot of information on what you want in an upgrade. So before you ever even leave your house, do your research, find out what the hotel has, decide what you would like. Next, before you go and check in, get on your phone that day and do a mock booking on the hotel's website. This will tell you if the room that you're hoping for is still available, or maybe that spa suite has been sold out for your dates. So just do a mock booking, and that's not to say just because it's still available, you'll definitely be able to get it, because there's a lot of variables that go into it, but at least gives you a little more information. If that spa suite that you were hoping for is booked and sold out, odds are you're probably not gonna get that spa suite, so maybe you should ask for something else. The most important tip, even more important than the 20, is be kind. When you walk up and interact with the person that's checking you in, you really need to be nice. You need to be nice always, but you're about to ask this person for something extra, something you're not entitled to, a favor, and just be nice to that person. They almost always have name tags. Call them by their name. Ask them how their day is going. They've been on their feet working all day. They may not have had very many people interested in them. And so it's just nice to start up a conversation. Another tip is usually front desk staff are all wearing the same thing, but they actually can show their personalities with small things like their jewelry, their hair, a man might have a nice watch, a manicure, things like that. That is how they're showing their personality, even though they have to wear a uniform to work every day. So compliment them. Everyone likes a compliment. Be nice, use their name, give them a compliment. That's a really good way to start out the conversation. The next is you're gonna wanna have your exact bill ready. Some people tip 20, some people tip 50. We'll get into that in a further question, but you don't wanna have 2 10s, for example, because when you're gonna hand them this tip, you're gonna hand them at the same time that you give them your ID and your credit card, and you're not going to be able to quickly show, oh, I have 2 10s here, not just 1 10, fan it out. It's too much work. So you want to have that exact bill ready. And I think sometimes when people went from 20 to 50, the reason that they jumped is, again, like 2 20s, it's hard to show that you're giving 2 20s. So it's really better just to jump to that next bill. So have that money ready to go. If there's a special occasion, mention the special occasion when you're making the chit chat. You don't need to lie. If there's no special occasion, you don't need to make up one. But if it happens to be your first time in Vegas, or happens to be your anniversary, or you're celebrating your birthday, go ahead and say that. Sometimes they're upgrades, they have to ask for permission, and to know it's someone's special occasion, or they just want to help you out and help you celebrate, that's just good information to know. So go ahead and tell them that too. So when you go to check in, you give them your name, and you give them your ID and your credit card. And that's another reason you don't want to lie. You don't want to tell them it's your birthday. You're about to hand this person your driver's license. They're going to know if you're lying or not. So don't make up special occasions. But hand them your ID, your credit card, and the tip that you would like to give them. And then say, are there any complimentary upgrades? Then be specific. For example, are there any complimentary upgrades? I really love the jacuzzi tub in the spa suite, if anything like that is available. Remember to be nice, because you're not entitled. You should not expect this upgrade. You are asking for a favor, and you're tipping for return. And the reason that you're tipping is it's work. It's work to upgrade you. We'll get more into that in a second, but it's really just nice to tip people for their work. It's really not a bribe. Don't treat it like a bribe or a secret. Doesn't need to be a secret. This can just be a true tip. And then finally, be flexible on your check-in time. Maybe you might even need to check in the next day. So here's what I mean. At the beginning of the day is when the most rooms are available, because they don't actually assign who gets which room until you're physically there. So when you're physically there at 9 or 10 in the morning, there's the most rooms available. And then as the day goes on, less and less, obviously. Now, I know check-in time might not be till 3 or 4, but that's another Vegas tip. You don't actually have to wait until what they say the check-in time is to check in. You can go and you can have this conversation, and who knows, your room might be ready. It's probably a large hotel with many rooms. Maybe it wasn't sold out last night. So maybe there's just rooms sitting there ready to go. But be flexible, because you might hear something like, well, I have a high floor room available now, or if you don't mind waiting till later, I actually will have a jacuzzi room open up. So be flexible. Take that jacuzzi room, just give your bags to the bell desk, tip them as well. $1 per bag is typical. And when you pick up your bags, that's when you would give the tip. And then enjoy it. Go ahead and start your vacation, but being flexible in that check-in time. Now, if you're flying in late, you can't check in early. There's nothing you can do about that. But here's another tip. You can just check in regular, and then you can go the next morning and say, I checked in last night, there weren't any upgrades available. Hand them your 20 then, and see if they can upgrade you for the remainder of your stay. Or you can try it when you first check in that late at night. You can say, even if there's nothing available now, if I could move rooms tomorrow to an upgrade, that would be great. And letting them know that flexibility, that you would be okay moving rooms. So even if you're checking in late, hopefully you can still get that upgrade. Can't I just ask for an upgrade? Do I really have to tip anything? That's a great question, and that's something that's debated a lot, because a lot of times people do just ask for an upgrade and they're given it, and they didn't have to tip anything. So why is there even this 20 trick? Well, like I said before, the 20 trick is really a tip. Sometimes it's a lot of work to upgrade someone. I've gone to check in before, and I ask for an upgrade, and that person just starts typing. And typing and typing and typing. And 5 minutes later, they're still typing. It's a lot more work than we know, because it's a lot more complicated. Maybe the room I want is available now, but I'm not checking out till Thursday. And on Wednesday, someone else is scheduled to get that room. And so they're having to find something else that will be available for the entire length of my stay, because they really don't want to make you switch rooms. It's a lot more complicated than we know. So they're typing. Then this person gets on the phone, and I can't hear the conversation. They step away, but looks like they're talking for a manager, trying to get permission for the upgrade. That's a very good sign. When someone is spending a long time, you're probably getting a really great upgrade. They get off the phone, they keep typing, and bam, I get the good news. Fantastic upgrade. Now that was 10 minutes out of that person's time where they could have been checking in other people. Maybe they could have gone on a break, things like that. That is extra work that they did for me. And Vegas is a tipping culture. And that is the way that you say thank you. So yes, I would say more important than the 20 is being kind, being nice. That's the most important. But go ahead and giving that 20, that's now incentivizing that person and showing that you are going to thank them for their work. You are going to be one of those people that does tip as a thank you, and lets them know that up front to incentivize them to do that extra work. Not a bribe, it is a thank you. Really, they want you to be happy. Hotels know how important TripAdvisor, Yelp, those sites are. You've probably checked them yourself to select your hotel. So they want you to be happy. They want you to have a great celebration. They want you to enjoy your room. So when you're just asking nicely, can I have this type of room? You're letting them know what would make you happy. And they're going to try to do it, whether you're giving them the 20 or not. But it's nice to thank people. It's nice to tip them. So should I tip $20 or should I tip $50? And really, there's a lot of variables in that question. What's the length of your stay? If I'm just staying at a hotel one night, I'm probably not going to do 50. That's really, probably could just get the upgrade, just paying $50 for that upgrade. I'll probably just do 20. How long is my stay? What kind of upgrade am I looking for? Am I at a 5-star hotel or a 3-star hotel? How much does it mean to me? The important thing or one of the great things about this trick is you're just paying the one time. So yes, usually when you check in, you actually can pay to get upgraded. But when it's $50 to upgrade, that's $50 per night, plus hotel taxes. So if you're staying 5 nights, that's a big difference than just tipping the one time, tipping the 50 and not paying to get upgraded, but asking for a complimentary upgrade. It's a gamble, what's going to work and what's not. So it really is up to you on how important it is to you to hopefully increase your chances of getting that upgrade. A lot of times $20 is fine, but really if you're asking for a lot of nights, definitely if you're asking for more than one room, if you're asking for a really big upgrade, then that might be when $50 is more appropriate. Should I book direct or from a third-party site? This is actually a really big topic in Vegas because when you book direct, then you do have the opportunity to get comped. So if you gamble enough, they want to comp your room at the end of your stay, they can do that if you've booked direct. If you've booked through a third-party site, they don't have the ability to do that. But that doesn't mean you should ignore third-party sites. If you're booking from the hotel directly, you're on their website, they know you want to stay there. They have particular prices. If you're booking through a third-party site, they're competing for your business and they know price is a big factor. And also third-party sites sometimes get blocks of rooms to sell at a discount. So take the 30 minutes, check those third-party sites. If the price is the same, book direct. If there's a price difference though, especially if it's still a refundable rate, you may want to go through that third-party site. Or even if it's a non-refundable rate, if you know 100% you're going and you're comfortable with the non-refundable rate, maybe you want to book that. So my last trip to Vegas, I got Palazzo at half off through a third-party site versus booking direct. So it's really worth it to go ahead and check. And I'm not a gambler. If I was a gambler also, I would be getting my rooms comped up front. Don't ever pay more for a room in hopes that you'll get it comped. That's really not the way to start off your trip. It's also not the way you want to gamble. So you just keep that in mind. But now back to the 20 trick. In my experience, it doesn't matter if I've booked direct or if I've booked a third party, as long as I am still doing my tips that I've given, I haven't seen a difference on my upgrades. I'm never in my room anyway in Vegas, so does it matter if I'm upgraded? So that's personal choice, and I do hear this a lot. And if that's how you're gonna do your trip and you don't wanna get upgraded, then don't do the 20 trick. But in the travel industry in general, the nicer your accommodations, the more you like that city you've traveled to, even though the two really aren't related. It's just your experience and your memories. If you have a nice experience and a nice place to stay versus really a kind of ugly place to stay that you don't want to spend any time in the room, that's going to affect your trip. So for me, it's worth it to usually go ahead and tip and try to get the upgrade. But that's your personal choice if you don't feel like you want an upgrade because you won't be in the room anyway. I really want a particular room. Should I go ahead and book that room, or should I just book the cheapest room, do the 20 trick, and hope for the upgrade? So that's a really good question. If something is very important to you, don't gamble on the 20 trick. Go ahead and book what's important to you. My bucket list room was the 1-bedroom terrace fountain view suite at Cosmopolitan. I wanted that room so bad. I wanted to watch the fountains from my balcony. I wanted to watch the fountains from my Japanese soaking tub. I wanted that room. So when I booked Cosmopolitan, I booked that room. That was important to me. You don't really know what you're gonna get at check-in, and you don't wanna start off your vacation disappointed. So go ahead and book what you want if it's really important to you. The 20 trick is really to use if you're okay with the base room, you're okay not getting upgraded, but if you get upgraded, then great. What happens if the 20 trick doesn't work? So you don't really have to be scared, because if they cannot upgrade you, then they are probably going to hand you that 20 back. They know that this was in hopes of an upgrade and they were unable to, maybe because it's against the hotel's policy, although in Vegas it seems to not be against anyone's hotel policy, but or maybe just they were sold out and they couldn't upgrade you, and they'll give you that 20 back. So you really don't have to worry. But it is a tip. Again, it wasn't a bribe. So if that person really tried and they really spent their time and they just weren't able to, a lot of time what we'll do is we'll take that 20 and we'll replace it with a 10. And that really is the tip. Like, thank you for trying. You don't need to pay the whole 50 because they know they weren't able to upgrade you. But it's still nice to say thank you. And it's okay if it didn't work. That's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. Try again next time. It doesn't always work. So how often does the 20 trick work? For me, it's about 90% of the time in Vegas. So very high amount of working. What I would consider not working is obviously if I get my 20 passed back to me, or if they say they upgraded me, but really I didn't consider that an upgrade. Like, it's a high floor. I would have gotten that with 20 or not a 20. So my husband and I call this our first gamble in Vegas. You're in Vegas, you're here to gamble. Here's your first gamble, your 20 or your 50. Sometimes you get amazing suites. Sometimes, meh, not as great. That's what happens. And it's just our first gamble. It's just a fun thing and how we start off our trip. So what room upgrades have you gotten? All right, I lost count of how many times I've been a long time ago, but there's a few upgrades that have stuck out in my mind. So here's some things that I've gotten. One room I loved was Vdara. I had booked just the regular base room and I was able to get the Vdara Fountain View Suite, which is gorgeous. It's a 111 square foot suite. It has a kitchen. It has a separate living room with gorgeous Bellagio fountain views. It has a tub with Bellagio fountain views. It has a separate bedroom, and the room is so big that we were probably in there an hour before we even discovered it had a second bathroom. So that was a fantastic upgrade that we got. Another upgrade that I really like is Caesar's Palace. Some hotels like Caesar's Palace, their base room is not that nice, not recently upgraded, but they have a lot of more upgraded rooms available. So the 20 trick is really good to use at a place like that. And my wish, I had done my research, my wish was for a fountain view Augustus Tower, because Augustus Tower has great fountain views, and it also has a separate, in the bathroom, it has its own TV, which I love being in the tub and having a TV there. So I got that upgrade and loved it. Oh, it also has Keurig machines, which are really nice. And MGM Grand. We'd stayed at MGM Grand so many times, and some hotels really just don't have good views. And of course, everyone wants that gorgeous strip view, but some hotels just aren't situated. And we always thought MGM Grand was one of them. But my husband going one time, he stayed for 2 weeks, so that's a really big ask, and got the most beautiful strip view he has ever had, and that was at MGM Grand. There weren't a lot of them, but it was a great view, and for 2 weeks he got to enjoy that view. At Venetian, I've gotten upgraded to Palazzo, which is a hotel inside of Venetian. I prefer Palazzo because I like the Palazzo pool better, and I also love the spa, and there's an elevator that goes right down to the spa. Venetian is huge. I don't want to be walking all around it, especially if I'm in a bathrobe. So I love that for Palazzo. Palazzo also has the TV in the bathroom, which I love. So one time I was able to move from Venetian to Palazzo with the upgrade. Another time when I was booked Palazzo, I got upgraded to the 940 square foot Premier King Suite. It was huge. The closet was so big, the closet could have been a bedroom. The whole thing was huge. So that was an upgrade I got once. And then the last time I was there, we actually didn't ask for an upgrade because I actually like the layout of the regular Palazzo room better, because all Palazzo and Venetian are suites. And I just like the layout. The other room was so big, it just felt like I had to walk forever to get from the bathroom to the strip view. So we didn't ask for an upgrade, but what we did ask for, instead of asking for a strip view like we'd gotten every other time, Palazzo and Venetian's version of a strip view is the hotel across the street. So really just Treasure Island, Fashion Show Mall. You really don't see much else. It's one of those hotels that's just not situated to have great strip views. But my husband did some Google Earth research and figured out if you were on a high enough floor in a particular area of the hotel, you might get a good view. And he was right. Don't ask for the strip view. Ask for the Link High Roller view. It's more at the back of the hotel, but then you're going to be looking down at the whole strip instead of just looking across from you. And it's a much better view than what they call the strip view. It was beautiful. At Golden Nugget, that's another place I like to upgrade because their base rooms really aren't very nice. So even if it's just upgrading to the one of their renovated rooms, that's definitely worth the $20. One of these days, I'm gonna get that 2-story spa suite. That's one I would love to have at Golden Nugget. And then Circa and really all your downtown hotels, they don't have good views because they're downtown, but Circa has a really nice pool view. Their stadium swim, as they call it, one of the biggest jumbotrons definitely at a pool, maybe in the world anywhere. It's ridiculous. And good people watching, good pool views, so we've gotten that as well. Another tip, Vegas is a tipping culture. It's a hospitality and service industry, and it's more so than probably the rest of the United States. It's one of the biggest tipping cultures I've ever traveled to. So the 20 trick doesn't just work when you check in. Actually, when you're going to get sat at a show and a maitre d' is showing you to their seat, that maitre d' can also accept tips and can also move you to a better seat. Often there are good seats reserved just in case a high roller decides they want to go see a show last minute and they expect that really good seat. So a lot of times they're there and they sit empty. And that maitre d' is there to, and they can upgrade you a lot of times. If they can't, they can't. But usually they accept tips and they can put you in the VIP section, things like that. It's really just a tipping culture. It's a service industry culture where a lot of people are serving you and doing a lot of things for you, and in return you tip. And I know that's different than Europe, definitely, and even different than parts of the US, but it's money well spent. Don't think of it as being nickel and dime. Thinking of it as for $10 or $20, you're becoming a VIP. That's really money well spent. It's a win-win situation. They're getting their income supplemented and you're getting to skip the line or whatever it is. You can really use it anywhere. You definitely want to tip your valet. If you're going to ask something for something special. One time we needed to run in to grab some show tickets, but that hotel only allowed valet for hotel guests. And so they weren't going to let us park there, but it was going to be in and out in 15 minutes. My husband handed a 10 and said, this is be real quick. Could we do this? And it was. He was asking a favor and he was tipping for that favor, and that worked out. So it's a tipping culture. You can use it all over Vegas. Can you use the 20 trick outside of Vegas at other hotels when you check in? And the answer is yes, we do this too. Now I will say everywhere in Vegas, they know what the 20 trick is. When they see that 20, they see that 50, they know exactly what you are doing. Outside of Vegas, that may not be the case. They may have never seen that. Sometimes at higher end hotels they have, but a lot of times they haven't. So you can do it outside of Vegas. Just be prepared to explain it a little bit more, such as this 20 is for you if you're able to upgrade me with any complimentary upgrades, followed by you've done your research, what you're hoping that upgrade is. They may be a little surprised, but a lot of times it does work. One of the best things to get outside of Vegas is club level access. So club level is a special floor, and everyone on that floor has to use their key card to get there, and has to use their key card to get into what they call like the club room or the courtesy lounge, has different names. And sometimes it's for business travelers, sometimes it's just for people who've paid extra for that room. And a lot of times it's if you're a diamond or a platinum member of that hotel, one of your perks is you get club level access. And why you want club level access is because a lot of times it means free breakfast and hot breakfast. It means 24/7 sodas, coffee, waters available to you. It sometimes means afternoon snacks. It sometimes even means evening receptions with alcohol included. So check out your hotel, check if it has a club level room, what they offer in their club level room. And when you go to check in, not only can you ask for an upgrade, but you could also ask for club level access. You don't have to be staying on that floor to get it. They're able to give any room key access to that car, any room key access to that room. So it's something you can ask for, and really, if you get it, you don't have to buy breakfast for your stay. You're getting the snacks, you're getting all that. So that is really $20 really well spent. Lastly, I'm gonna ask us all to help each other out. So like I said before, how this all got started with Fat Wallet was us commenting and telling how did it go. I've told you some of my successes. Now tell me, go try this, or have you tried it? Comment down below, have you tried it? Or when you try it, comment down below and tell me this information. How many nights, what hotel, what room did you book? And then what room did you get upgraded to, or what happened? Did you not get upgraded? That kind of information. Give us all that information. And then the more of us that do that, you can look down at the comments and see what other people got. If they have gotten it at the hotel you're hoping for, then you can see what they got. So let's help each other out. And lastly, if you are in the Vegas hospitality industry yourself, or you have been, and you have tips for us, or you know of a hotel that doesn't allow it, or if you, whatever tips you have, or if you should be discreet or not discreet, comment down below. I will pin any Vegas hospitality knowledge to the top, so that the rest of us, when we're looking at the comments, we can see your post first, and we really appreciate that. So in order to remember this video, either click the save button or help me out and click the subscribe button, go to Vegas, try the 20 trick, come back to this video, comment down below. Can't wait to hear how it went. If you have any questions, if I didn't answer one of your questions, comment down below. I love interacting with you guys. I just do this to share my tips and tricks and my travel knowledge with others. I love traveling, and I love making other people's vacations more enjoyable. Thanks so much.